Right, today we're going to be using the quadratic formula to solve quadratics. Now, this is a great thing because the quadratic formula fits all sizes. No matter what equation you've got, no matter what you're doing, the quadratic formula will give it to you. Doesn't matter whether you've got whole number answers or you've got decimal answers for your two solutions for a quadratic. The quadratic formula will work it out every single time for you. So this is the quadratic formula here. Looks a bit scary to start with, but once we see what the A, B's and C's are for, then it's not difficult to use. So we've got a general form of the equation, which you should know as ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So these A's and B's and C's come from your quadratic, and it must be in that form. Okay, so then we just use substitution from the coefficients in this equation to be able to work out our solutions. So how does that work? Let me take an example. Okay, make sure that you firstly rearrange your equation to put it in the form that is there. So I'm going to bring the x over this side, negative x minus 2 is equal to 0. Now I've got it in the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And I always like to write down exactly what I've got so I can substitute straight in and lessen my mistakes. So here a is equal to what? Well, there's a 1 in front there. It's not shown, is it? But there is a 1. So a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 1, and c is equal to negative 2. Don't forget to include the negatives in front if there is a negative in front, because that's part of that particular coefficient. Now all I do is substitute it straight into the formula. X is equal to minus b. Now b is minus 1. Now notice that I've put it in brackets there. I like to do that because then I've got two negatives there, and I'll come back to that and cancel those out. Plus or minus square root of b squared, so it's minus 1 all squared, minus 4 times 1 times negative 2, I'll put that in brackets, negative 2 over 2 times a, well my a is 1. So now I'm going to go through and tidy all that up. We've got 1 out the front, plus or minus square root of, well, negative 1 squared is 1, minus 4 times 1 is 4 times 2 is 8. Two negatives there, they cancel out, they give me a positive. So then I've got a 2 on the bottom, and I've got 1 plus or minus square root of 9 over 2. Now, everybody knows that the square root of 9 is 3. Well, most people should know that it's 3, shouldn't they? Okay, there it is. Right, so what we've got now is, we've got two solutions there. We've got x equals 1 plus 3 over 2, or x equals 1 minus 3 over 2. Let's have a look at those. That's 4 over 2 or negative 2 over 2. So our solutions are 2 or negative 1. Now they're whole numbers. If you actually were to factorise this using the cross method or the sum product factor method, any method that you choose, you'll come up with these solutions here. So this is a very quick way of doing these particular problems. And if there are decimal answers, you'll get decimal answers. Better off to leave your answers in the exact form, which means that you're leaving it as a surd rather than leaving it as decimal form. But that's the quickest way to do it. Okay, have a good day.